everybody, it's Julie B. Campbell, co-author of the Perspective book series, and I'm just doing a little video to update you on my efforts to create a cosplay costume that will be Irys at a Masquerade ball. So I hope you've been liking the updates that we've been giving so far, and here's what I'm doing with the skirt for the next steps of the gown.
Okay, so this is the main gown for Irys's costume. I've shown this in a previous video, so I won't go into it in too much detail or anything like that. It's basically an old wedding gown that I found at a secondhand store, and this entire upper, I'm going to cut that off. I won't be using it as much as it has kind of a pretty little detail, and maybe I'll find some way of salvage portions of it. I haven't decided yet, but I'm basically just aiming at the skirt, and the skirt is made of 3 layers. It has this outer, it's kind of a sheer, very sheer layer, there we go, and then there's a second sheer layer to it. So this is layer 1, this one's layer 2. And then there's this heavier, stiffer layer. So I'm going to try to salvage those. I will be cutting out, there's this under layer. This is the part that would actually go against your skin. Like, this would be the part that's against your legs, because this entire skirt is going to be going over top of a crinoline. I don't need this anymore, and this is kind of a really tight tube. I mean, the dress isn't the right size for me anyway. It's slightly too big, but this part is slightly too small, which is kind of odd to me. Yeah, so this part I will be removing completely. I'll be keeping all of those layers that I just swooshed onto the floor, mind my feet and slippers. And then, so basically what I'm going to do to be able to keep it all together though, I'm going to sew across on both sides. I'm not just going to sew across the whole thing and like make no opening at the top. I actually have a little bit of an idea what I'm doing. So I'm going to sew, this is the back of it. So, and it's got a busted zipper, so I'm going to start lower than that. And I'm going to just basically sew across this whole thing. Cut out the inside layer, this stuff here. I'll cut all of that out. And then I'll have basically just the skirt part. And what I'll be able to do, because this top part, the waist part, will be hidden underneath other layers of the dress, I'll fold the top layer under, like, and sew like almost a tube, so that I can run a drawstring through the very top of it to make it fit my waist, since that'll be covered up anyway. So that's what I plan to do, and that should salvage the majority of the skirt, which is what I want, because it's big and white and kind of pretty. I know this isn't doing it justice. I mean, I'm far too close anyway, but I would need to be like 10 feet tall to get this whole thing. So I will put a link in so that you can see it in the original video, so you can see what it actually looks like. And I don't know if I'll be able to actually get any use out of this, but if I can, I will, because that's kind of pretty. I just wanted to update on this. I'm partway through cutting out that inside layer that I was talking about a couple of seconds ago in this video, and I just discovered that it's actually not even attached very well, which is amazing. So let's see if my camera will ever focus on. There we go. It's just attached by these little bits like this, which has made it extremely easy to extract without cutting up the dress or ruining or anything like that. So that is going to make this process way easier. And I don't know if I can do this one with one hand while I'm still filming. Let's see, but like, it's just a matter of, whoop, those are scissors. Let's back up a little bit. I am not good at this yet. Come on, focus with the camera. There we go. So it's just a matter of clipping each of those little, whoop, like that. And so it'll go all the way around, and then it'll be removed, and that will make it much more appropriate for my costume. Okay, so this is what I've done. The entire inner lining has now been clipped away, and I have a more much more unfinished looking dress now. It's very kind of industrial looking, if you want to call it that. You can see this is the top part with the boning. There was this side here. That's that on the inside, which I kind of found interesting. I've never cut apart a dress like this before. I've cut dresses apart before to alter them, but I've never actually completely deconstructed one so cruelly. And, well, that was the original make. Please don't anybody tell me that this dress would have been worth like $10,000 or something like that, because I'll just cry. So please don't leave that in the comments. Just tell me, yay, I'm really glad you got that for such a cheap price at the secondhand shop, Julie. So now I have the rest of this skirt to work with. So what I'm basically going to do is sew around here and back around again to keep all of these layers together, and then fold that over to make somewhere for the drawstring to go through, and then we'll see how that goes after that point. Okay, and here is the dress all set up in the sewing machine. And I have it, basically the zipper, I'm not good at filming this yet. The zipper is around here, and this is actually curved upward, and I'm going to try and make a straight line. So what I've done is I'm aiming at, this is the point at the bottom of, like this is the bodice here. So, and this is the point at the very front of it. So I'm going to be trying to make a straight line that goes past the point and then just goes around the other side. It will just make one neat line all the way around, and then I can just draw it in with a drawstring around the waist without this whole bodice attached or any of the zippers or any of that kind of stuff. Okay, so I finished sewing that initial line, which is just essentially there to make sure all the layers stay together if I cut this. So it's not hugely neat, but that's because I rushed it and it doesn't need to be. You can see, hopefully, come on, focus, little camera. There we go. You can see that there is a line along here. That's where I've sewn it. It goes all the way around. And that will keep all the skirt layers together down here when I cut off this part. Okay, so welcome back. Of course, this is only a couple seconds later for you, but this has been a little bit for me. So what I've done is, as you can see, I have chopped off the upper bodice and zipper part of the gown, and I did try and keep this, I didn't cut any of this stuff in case I end up using it somehow. I really don't know if I will or not. Even if I worked this into being a matching purse or something like that, which Irys didn't have, but I will be at the Fan Expo, so it would be nice to have a couple of things with me, because it is the exact same dress. It would match perfectly if I could make this into a little purse or a handbag of some kind. Yeah, so this would be the top of the skirt now, which looks like a disaster, but that's because it's sort of supposed to look like a disaster at this point. But as you can see, it's just sewn all the way along. So what I will do is sew this under here like that, and then run a ribbon or a string of some kind, something sturdy but white, through there at the right, like I will measure it to make sure that it will be the right length for me wearing the shoes that I'll be wearing. And so this will fit nicely underneath. This here is all a train. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to keep that or if I'm going to trim it and try to hem it. That will be quite the project. So we'll see how it ends up looking. I'm not going to, some of the details like that I'm going to actually leave and see sort of how it turns out as it goes. I'm going to try not to decide everything too early, because a lot of this is going to be based on my skills, which are somewhat lacking. That would be why I didn't film myself using the sewing machine. I can't remember if I actually filmed any of the next step. I'm really sorry if I missed it, but I did. The next step was sewing a little bit of a tube at the top of the dress, at the waist of the skirt, so that I could run this length of cord through it to make it a drawstring at the waist, because this needs to actually fit me at the waist, and it's because it was actually cut off of a dress. it's far, far, far too big now. The opening is like huge. So to draw it in, I just decided to do a drawstring. So I did that. I just basically pinned it, did a really messy job. I will trim all this extra stuff, but the cord is now in here, and that is the next step done.
So that's about everything with the progress that's being made so far. I'm really happy with how things are going so far. I hope that it's not just a matter of luck, but that things will actually keep going in this direction, because I'm starting to really love the way that it's turning out. I'm really excited because I will soon be fitting it over this crinoline, which my co-author Amanda Giasson was kind enough to give me, and so because it is Irys, it has to be a very full skirt, so I'm very excited to see how it all comes together, and I can't wait to share that with you. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more like this, please subscribe to this channel. And I guess that's everything for now. Bye!